हो तो नथुलाल जैसी। मुझे बढ़िया रखी आपने।
सर कल तक दाढ़ी भी था इतना बड़ा।
Good evening and welcome to the next session of Sit Chat. Today, our topic is something which is different than the usual day. We are going to be talking about robotics. And before we start the formal session, let me give a brief about Sit Chat. I will share my screen now so that everybody can see that, and then we'll make a presentation of 3 slides, and then I'm done. And after that, it's over to Havish. See, firstly, Sit Chat was an idea which we started when the SIT group was formed to really see if we can create some kind of a platform for sharing topics of interest to the startups. That was the idea. So on this slide, you see the various topics which could be of interest to startups. And one of these topics is picked up and then invite them every week. And my role in this activity is as a volunteer for organizing these sit chat sessions. And today our topic would be on robotics for one second. Yeah, so today our topics would be on robotics to make our life easier. And this would be presented by Havish. Before I hand over to him, I was to show you the disclaimer, which talks about our activity being something noble and we have a thorough, what should I say, honest intention. Of course, we do share opinions and information which is professionally vetted. All of us are professionals. However, we request you to please consult a professional of your choice before you really implement or use any of our suggestions. So with that very brief disclaimer, let me unshare my screen and introduce myself. My name is Dinakar. I am a consultant and a coach, and I've been working something like a shared COO or on-demand COO for multiple manufacturing companies since 2013. I also do consulting, coaching, mentoring for manufacturing companies, startups, etc. And before that, I was working with Bosch for 26 years in multiple countries, in India, Brazil, Germany, and US. In all those places with a leadership role, which was a long-term stint in each of those countries. So I speak German and Portuguese. With that brief introduction, over to you, Havish, to really excite us and what should I say, enlighten us with the world of robots. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I should have been on mute.
You can introduce yourself briefly before you start your presentation so that everybody would get to know you better than what we know you now.
Sure. I'm Havish. I'm the founder of Infiction Labs. We're a robotic startup based out of. We are almost 10 years old. We have been building robots for 10 years. Apart from that, I have a couple of other companies, Media House, and iOS and Android development company, wherein we develop iOS and Android apps. Actually, it's a spin-off of our robotics company, wherein we had to build apps to operate our bots. We ended up building that bot. That said, I think I'll just straight into.
Your voice is not clear. I mean, if it.
Am I not? Oh, is it? Am I audible now?
I think better. Yeah,
better.
Okay, great. I'll just speak up. I think that's it, right? Cool. Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please go on.
Perfect. Share the entire screen. Perfect. I hope my screen is visible. You can see my screen, right? Hello.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. It would be really helpful if someone could say Yes, no, they interrupt me whenever you want. We would like to make it as interactive. So, hi again. When Dinakar sir called me and said, hey, you know what, you got to do a talk about this. I was really perplexed. I was like, okay, what do I talk about? And then he said, hey, you tell us, you just share how your journey has been and how robotics can make our life easier, or are they really making our life easy? So I thought we'll just start with the fundamental of what is a robot, right? That's a small bit. I would like to share a video link at this point. Just give me 1 minute.
Havish, if you do that, if you are doing that, please enable
Share
the
the sound.
system sound also in your
I
Zoom.
think I have. Yeah, I think I have. Let me just. Can you hear the sound?
Yeah. Super.
Perfect.
What is a robot? Robotics has become the trend, fancy, pop culture of students recently. However, there doesn't seem to be a clear understanding of the word robot. The first thing that pops into one's mind upon hearing the word robot would be like,
Chitty, the robot. Speed 1 terahertz, memory 1 terabyte.
I've been waiting for you.
although represent a class of very advanced, highly intelligent, extremely emotional, superhumanly strong, yet non-existent life forms. The term robotics itself is quite ambiguous. Honda's Asimo is probably the most intelligent droid that mankind has ever built.
Watch me walk up the stairs like I am a real boy. Look at me. Walking, 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 falling. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, we all stumble.
So much for its superhuman strength.
But then, it took Asimo 10 years to recover from that fall. Bottom line, the most advanced robot that we have managed to build would be the Curiosity.
This isn't a car. It's a car.
But why do we go on despite our failures? It's because we have dreamt too far and it's too late to stop the chase. Imagine a world where our Happy Meal toys go.
Banana.
Where your pizzas get delivered to the 13th floor.
Stuart? Banana. Banana!
I said pizza, not banana. Technological advancement is an inevitability. We must learn to ride the tide. That said, one question that remains unanswered, that which haunts us to eternity, would be, what is a robot?
Well, that's. So, I would like to open the floor right away, asking all of you the question, what do you think a robot is?
Yeah, I think everybody can share their perspectives. Please
Yes, please.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
please.
from my perspective, robot is something which automates whatever that we are doing, is what I would call it as a robot in a very generic sense.
Yeah, fair enough. It's actually a very precise answer.
It is a very
Some-
technological trend. It is a technological trend that is being followed by all today in every field of life.
Somebody else?
Those of you who don't mind, don't feel comfortable speaking, can and also enter in the chat box. If you
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
either this or that.
Robo is something that we humans invented to make our slaves, but in turn we have become slaves of that.
Interesting. Okay. So the point of asking that question and that video, I just put it up, just assembled some clips and just made a narrative of the video over the last half an hour. Was that the term robotics has a glamour attached to it? Everybody talks about robotics these days. Everybody says, "Hey, we are building a robot," and they attach a lot of glamour to it. They call it ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, neural networks, machine learning, whatnot. It's become so glamorous that engineering colleges today are ironically closing down mechanical engineering branches and opening data science and artificial intelligence branches. And that's what I wanted to focus on mainly today, is that A robot, as Dinakar sir rightly said, is just a machine, nothing else. Just a machine with just a little bit of intelligence than all the regular machines about that. So simply put, uh, they are machines that pack our milk to that build our car to our chat GPT. All of these are simply robots. They are a semblance of intelligence that we think is intelligence as humans, and that we have tried to emulate out of our brain, but it's still human made. It's very, very, very imperfect, uh, because we are running behind the idea of perfection, which itself is probably imperfect. Right? So that said, this robot is the robot that we are talking about. Like one of you said that we are trying to make slaves, but getting enslaved is is perhaps something coming out of the glam sentiment of the robotics. So basically, what I've been doing in the last 10 years is get on the field, get my feet, uh, get our feet burnt, get our hands cut, and make a machine and build an algorithm on top of it. The most simplest bots are packaging bots, assembly line bots, and we in our company make robots to clean solar panels. So they are autonomous robots that can go around the solar plant, cleaning the solar panels. So that brings us to the myths. I'm sure you have heard myths about robotics, right? That robots are too expensive and they rob the livelihoods of people and they damage the ecosystem. They're slow and ineffective. And like I've put over here, they're just myths. None of these are true. I would like to open the floor for discussion. If somebody's up for discussion.
Robots are not expensive.
They're not expensive.
Reason why I would state that is, end of the day, what is that value add that they are going to do? Sometimes it is tangible, sometimes it is intangible. We always look at ROI only in the tangible angle, but it is not that. So I don't see robots are expensive. They might be capital intensive for initial investment, but they're definitely not expensive. Robots damage the ecosystem. That all depends how you're going to use a robot for. Okay.
Correct.
And slow and ineffective. I mean, it all depends. When it is Apple 15 and you want to still remain in Apple 6 or 7, obviously you will remain slow and ineffective. It is about adapting to what your needs and what is the upgradation. Do robots, robs the livelihood of the locals? I don't think so. I mean, even the locals need to upskill. That's it.
That's an interesting take on it. So why I put that first point there that the robots are expensive is a myth is that we specifically in our company focus on automating hazardous and manual intensive jobs. So, for example, we have automated solar panel cleaning, which is extremely hazardous. In the sense that most of the solar plants that we are tackling are on rooftops, which are about 70 feet high and are at an inclination of about 8 to 12 degrees. And this roofs are sloping. Uh, the laborers are not given safety. I'm sure you agree. Dinakar sir has been manufacturing. I think. Sorry, Sagar sir has also been in manufacturing. I don't know about you, sir, Amar sir, and Khan sir, but we in India throw away human safety norms to the wind. We literally don't follow any of the safety protocols that we ourselves as humans have set in, and that's where the robot are expensive comes in the market, in the sense that for us human labor or human life has become too cheap. That's why robots are looked at as very expensive in the market. And that's what we have been experiencing. Wherever we try to automate a solution, they say, hey, you know what? I can do it with 3 people. But come on, these 3 people are almost literally the hazardous jobs that we are tackling, are almost literally staking their lives day in and day out. How are you going to monetize that? How are you going to, as Sagar said, rightly said, the intangibility factor. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for doing that. Any more thoughts on this from anybody else?
Now, why do you say there is a myth that it is slow and ineffective?
So for most of the processes that we automate, especially hazardous processes, it's a little difficult to handle the material. So, for example, we are working with a defense problem statement of packing a certain explosive item, repacking a certain explosive item, which people have been doing by hand for the last 40 years. And the throughput in a robotic system or an automation system is much, much lesser when compared to what humans can do because the system is too small. The amount of things that needs to be packed for each is quite small. And the defense is not ready to build a big elaborative plant. That is one reason. And as I said, it is so important to create this hype, right, around robotics. So we landed a rover on Moon, right? And long ago, US landed a rover on Mars, and it's like, oh, we have a rover on Mars. But realistically, how it works is, if let us say I am operating the robot with the arrow keys on my keyboard right now, right? Operating Curiosity or the rover on Moon. If I hit the front button for 2 seconds and take my hand off, to know if the robot has moved forward or not, I need 15 minutes. If it is on Mars, I need about 25 minutes. So every time I hit the front button, so how they essentially drive the rover is that they drive the rover for 10 minutes and then wait for about half an hour to 20 minutes and then image the entire topography. And then they try to understand, okay, has the robot moved forward or not? And this is how unglamorous it is. In the sense, and that's how it is very slow and ineffective.
But why is it? Why does it take half an hour? Because of the time required for the signal to travel back, is it?
Yes. And that's why these non-robotic enthusiasts or pro-human labor enthusiasts come back and say, "Hey, robots are very ineffective. Humans are much more effective. Humans are faster. Humans can react. Humans can work reactively if something goes down in the process. It's obviously humans are more intelligent than robots." And the myth is like they're very slow and ineffective, especially in the West. And the point is that robots are not meant to be humans. I think that's where we have to draw the line. And the most important narrative that we need to push in the market is that, hey, we are not automating. We are mindfully automating. We are not mindlessly automating. Replacing everything with machines is not a solution. That's where all these issues with robotics comes into picture.
Okay.
What we essentially need to do is put in robots where we need them or where we need to optimize. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Somebody wanted to say something.
Yeah, see, I have a customer, one of my clients. His strategy to grow is basically to invest robots in his factory. Because he's investing in robots in his factory, mainly for loading, unloading, positioning, etc. His customers are extremely, delighted that I have a vendor who is very much future thinking.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, there are pockets of people who support technology like that, and yeah, that's the sort of clients that we work with as well. So we work with Tata Power and Karnataka Forest Department. And you'd be surprised to know how excited they are to back innovation. So yes, those are some progressive thinkers that we do have in the market. But ultimately, I think it's a purchase decision, as Sagar sir rightly said. It's like, okay, I have to invest so much right now, and how does it look on my CV? Will I get a promotion or not? Like everybody in the ladder is easily stuck in something like that. So as long as it's an organization that's run by a smaller team and the founder, like if the founder has the founder is a decision maker, where it is in medium scale enterprises most of the times, it works. Yes, I agree. So, and most importantly, this is something that I like to bring up in most of the talks, wherein they say robots rob the livelihood of locals, right? Professor just pointed out that we are becoming their slaves. which is actually may become true in the next, I don't know, 500 years. I don't think it's going to happen anytime in the next 5 decades, at least. As long as we are alive, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. The reason I'm saying that is, although there's so much talk about chatbots, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, they're very, 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 very primitive. They're not even close to the radical decision making capability of humans. And this is true because we don't have the hardware. We have not developed that computational hardware that can compute so many decisions that our human brain can at the moment. They're trying all sorts of computational devices, quantum computing, and whatnot. Somebody's trying a nuclear reactor to compute. None of this is feasible anytime in the next 100 to 200 years. So, no, sir, don't worry. We are not becoming slaves of robots. We are becoming slaves of our own desire for endorsement. Being stuck to Instagram and ChatGPT and YouTube. That's all. But we are not becoming slaves of any artificial intelligence. I can assure you that on record. So this myth exists. This myth also came out when ATMs came into the market. Automated teller machines came. There was this big rage saying, "Oh, tellers are going to lose their jobs. Now tellers will be jobless because they don't have to dispense money, and deposit money." But we can see that even after so much advancement, it allowed the banks and the financial system to scale to such a big extent that they actually employ more people rather than cut off people from their jobs. And that's the greatest advantage of robots. They allow scale. They allow leveraging into scaling up the business, especially when it comes to or any process. And yeah, as Sagar said, robots damage the ecosystem. Well, debatable. One could say that I am breathing, so I damage the ecosystem as well. So that would be pretty dicey to say. Any technology has that impact on the planet, and it's undeniable. But I think it's very important that we manufacture, maintain, and use the technology in such a way that it is sustainable. And that's why I spoke about mindful approach, wherein we just don't mindlessly replace every other process, but only take those processes that are intensive and that actually can automation of that process can impact. Any thoughts and shares? Oh, I can see some traffic. Narendra sir. Hello.
Please go on. Whoever wants to share or ask a question, please go on, because it's important that we get the best out of the expert. Please go on.
Yeah, frankly, I am bored to just talk alone, so I would like to have. It's a chat, right? So let's
Hello. Hi, my name is Sagar, and see, now I run two businesses. One is we are into recruitment for manufacturing firms. The other one is we are into architectural designs. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go on, Sagar.
Okay, because in between I heard something else.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So if anybody wants, they can chip in.
Havish, my question is, see, no matter what, robots either in the form of RPA or the actual robots, okay, are in reality. But why do you think that we still are not in that process where we could actually make them so revolutionary that cost of robots, I mean, one of your myths is about expensiveness, right? Why are we still not yet come to that stage where we actually are going to say that it is not expensive? When do you think, and when do you think that we actually can afford robots in manufacturing firms? I'm more looking at even the mid-size companies using it. If you're talking about Fanuc, ABB, no, that's not the example what I'm looking at. I'm looking at mid-sized companies where they are more human. When do you think we can replace them?
So, as I said, sir, it's. Can I be candid here, sir?
Please.
Yeah, please go on. As long as you don't insult any one of us.
No, of course not. What I have experienced as I said in any of my sales call or a cold call, the first approach that we have, especially here in the Eastern market, not just India, but Southeast Asia, anywhere east of the Middle East, is that hey, I pay $20 a day to my guys. Why should I pay $200 to your robot? And I think that's fundamental to why robot is expensive on this side of the world. Is that what people get paid is very less. The human labor is cheap, considered cheap. Abundance of human labor exists, and people are underpaid, seriously underpaid when compared to what rest of the world gets paid. Because of course, it's demand and supply, right? Being candid, so I hope no offense meant to any of the labor sector, but that's what it is. Right? And until that attitude changes, and the second most important issue is that lack of interest in safety, lack of investment in safety of human. Especially the problem statements that we tackle are almost impossible situations and really dreadful situations. So we surveyed, I don't want to name the place, we surveyed a very hazardous mining operation recently, and the situation there is dreadful. So we don't really think about it when we buy a laptop or an iPhone, do we? On the consumer end, when we can bring that consciousness of, hey, you know what, you're getting something at 20,000 rupees, but you know what people making that are going through. When we bring in that consciousness into people, I think that's when that's when we can turn the tables over and say, when the consumers say it's okay, even if it's 50,000 rupees, I'll buy it. I'll buy it when I can afford it. I won't buy something at 20,000 rupees, which costs somebody their family or their lives or their livelihood sometimes, because most of these injuries are pretty fatal. They are Miami and workers go through these injuries. I think that is the pivotal inflection point, the attitude of the market. And that's when I think robotics will actually become very. It's not too far away. Did I answer that question?
Yeah. See, what I have as I have a couple of questions. Okay. So before I shoot out, do you have anything further to explain? Maybe we can listen to you and then go on to the discussion.
No, sir. We'll go into the discussion.
Okay, then you can unshare your screen so that all of us can see
each
other.
Oh yeah, that's good. Correct. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry.
So see, first thing is, what is the difference between a bot and a robot? Everybody keep telling bot. What is the difference?
No real difference, sir. It's a fancy way of calling a robot. Truly, it's just brand. Frankly, nothing else. But of course,
technically, please go on.
Technically, we attach some significance to the word bot and say this is a chat bot. The chat robot is called a chat bot because there are no moving parts. So moving machines are called robots, and non-moving machines with intelligence are called bots. But that's just mundane way of, that's just a way of justifying a branding exercise. Nothing else.
See, if you look at the opportunities we have in the market for using robotics, it must be quite enormous. You spoke about the hazardous situations and situations which need consistent quality, for example. Both areas, robot would be a better solution because you would not have any risk. Now, one of the challenges in the Indian context is all the safety laws are all, what should I say, they are all forgotten. And,
they're thrown into the wind.
So it's not at all in play. So when you go to any hazardous operation, the employee who is working there is risking his entire life in doing that. You know, his life. And it's only a miracle, or they'll say it's only a luck, or the context that he didn't have an accident. But the probability of an accident is extremely high.
Yes.
You know, and there, because of our value for the human being in our society, I believe the acceptance of anything to reduce that risk is lesser. You look at the helmet itself. No?
Correct.
You have a rule to wear the helmet, but people keep wearing the helmet on their hand and then they travel, In Jaipur, it used to be crazy. People always wear 3 helmets here. 3 people sit on the bike. There, instead of 2 people, 3 people ride. And 3 helmets on his hand, it drives like this, So 3 helmets here hanging. But what is the reason of having a helmet? And there, what do you think can be done in the society so that the fundamental quality of life improves?
We believe that we have to catch them young. So call me negative, but there's no hope for this generation. That is my generation, our generation at all. All we can do is bring up a law. The law already exists. Try to enforce it, which is not possible. We have 1.4 billion people, and the number of enforcers to citizen ratio is too large. The gap is too large. So I think the only way to do this is catch them young, find students, school them, work with educational institutions, make them aware of what the repercussions will be. Not scare them, but make them aware of how dangerous a life that we are living, or how carelessly we are throwing away human life. I think that is what is most important to change the future.
Okay. Now, coming to the cost part of it, we spoke about somebody perceiving the cost as high because the initial investment is high.
Correct.
Why is the robot cost so high? Where did the cost come from?
That's a very, very nice question. Thank you so much for asking that. I forgot to touch that area. So most of the cost comes from importing the goods. So most of the electronics today, any robot needs motors, and all motors are imported. None of the motors that go on robots, at least 75 to 80% of the motors that go on robots in this country are imported. We have no motor manufacturers, and that is one policy change that we're trying to affect with the UNDP.
Why is the motor? Why should the motor be imported? Is it because of some high-end technology, or what is the technology in that motor?
So the motors are BLDC, but it's not rocket science. Come on, we have launched something to the moon, and I think manufacturing a motor is not very problematic. But I think there needs to be a policy. So until if I take some data as reference here, until 2006-2007, India was a gross exporter of finished copper products. If you went to Coimbatore or anywhere, any small town in Tamil Nadu, even Bangalore for that matter, there were shops in gullies, winding motors. Right? There was a motor winding shop everywhere. So we were exporting AC induction motors big time until 2006-2007. And after that, there was a big change in the economy. The NGF fell, the kilostars fell, and I think you all know all of the story. And today, India is a gross importer of finished copper products. And surprisingly, how we do it? We import copper, raw copper from Peru and the South American countries, Latin American countries, export copper to China, and import finished copper goods from China and Taiwan. And I think that is where we need to change. And in that regard, I think the Make in India initiatives and all this the government is doing.
Is India copper surplus?
In terms of, sure, sir.
Yeah, is India copper surplus? I think network bandwidth is very low for
Narendra, sir. You want to say something? No, sir. India does not.
Yeah, please go on.
Sir, जहाँ तक मैं Robert, can I speak in a Hindi if it's fine with you?
हाँ बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल.
आपका स्क्रीन आपने शेयर किया है, उसको अनशेयर कीजिए, तब तो बैंडविड्थ बढ़ेगा आपका. नहीं, कैमरा स्विच ऑफ कीजिए, स्क्रीन अनशेयर कैमरा स्विच ऑफ करके बात कीजिए. कैमरा ऑफ कर दीजिए बात करते समय.
सर, जहाँ तक मैं इसको समझ पाया हूँ ना. हेलो.
आप बताइए प्लीज.
Electronics से ही हूँ completely. I'm an electronic guy from since last 23 years. And hello.
Yeah, please go on.
I am in a core electronic years. I have an SMT machines with me, complete EMS plant in Bhiwadi. Electronics को समझता हूँ में बात कर रहे हैं, इंडिया के अंदर इसको जो एक्सपेंसिव होने का जो रीजन है, इसकी अवेयरनेस नहीं है और कुछ भी नहीं है। अगर आज हम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक बात करें, स्पेयर पार्ट्स की चीज है, कैपेसिटर्स हैं, इसके ऊपर सारा का सारा ड्यूटी निल है। और जहां तक मोटर्स की बात है, बीएलडीसी भी जो मोटर्स हैं, हमारे पंखे हैं, वो भी सारे बीएलडीसी हैं। हेलो,
या बताइए बताइए प्लीज, जाइए।
तो मेरे को
Sir, can I take over? I think he put forth his point really well.
Yeah.
Narendra ji, thank you so much. हाँ sir, बताइए।
नहीं है, मोटर से भी नहीं है, जो इसका कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी एक्सपेंसिव होने का है, जो इसका सॉफ्टवेयर पार्ट है, जिसकी वजह से ये एक्सपेंसिव होता है यूजेस के हिसाब से। जो इसके अंदर हम सॉफ्टवेयर लिखते हैं सारा का सारा, हार्डवेयर की इतनी कॉस्ट नहीं है रॉबर्ट के अंदर आज भी, जितनी उसकी कॉस्टिंग हम लोग बोलते हैं। हेलो,
हाँ सर, पॉइंट एक
बताइए।
तो जहां तक मैं समझता हूँ, जब हम इसके ऊपर यूजेस करना इसको शुरू कर देंगे, और जो हमारे सॉफ्टवेयर गाइज हैं, जो सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री से बिलोंग करते हैं, स्पेशली एम्बेडेड से, जब इसको यूजेस हो जाएगा, तब इसकी कॉस्ट अपने आप नीचे आ जाएगी।
करेक्ट।
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can answer the first question which you raised, and then we can continue the
Yes.
discussion.
So that was the second point that I was getting to when I was talking, that is true. There is no import duty on most of the electronic components right now. But there is a policy change that is happening at the moment. I think by the end of this year, or by the end of this financial year, there's going to be about 28% of import duty on active and passive components, that is electronic components, that is going to be levied to promote manufacturing of components inside of India. That's one big leap towards making electronics cheaper. Right? And I do partially agree with sir, that Narendra sir, is that hardware is not so expensive, but it depends on what kind of components you're choosing. And MCUs, even to this day, are not really manufactured in India. So until
Sir,
we can scale. Sir, tell me.
I tell you one thing, it is not possible.
Sir, can you type on chat and send? We can't hear you.
नहीं है अभी, हम चाहे पॉलिसीज के बारे में बात कर लें, कुछ भी या कुछ भी कर लें आज की डेट। टाटा भी कहते हैं कि मैं बनाना।
नरेंद्र जी, since the connection is very very poor, मैं आपसे शायद कल शाम एक बार फोन करता हूं, तब तो नॉर्मल फोन में बात करेंगे। आप, मैं और हवीश, तब तो आसान हो जाएगा।
एनी टाइम सर, एनी टाइम।
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, continue, Havish.
Yeah. As he put forth rightly, but I not really fully agree with the embedded software part, because I'm an embedded software developer, and we really develop embedded software at throwaway prices, and that has also changed today, because most of the embedded software is on open source plan, and it doesn't require any proprietary software or tool to develop embedded software. Embedded software industry it's become largely run by open source communities. It may be Yocto,
yeah. So hold on. Now for the others, okay, who are not technical, let us explain. You please explain three topics. First is, what is a BLDC motor? Okay, motor everybody know. We have got a fan motor. We have got motor in the car for air conditioning. Motors are known, and then we have got a motor in the mixie. Okay,
correct.
What is a BLDC? You please explain. Then you explain what is an embedded software. Okay, these two you please explain. BLDC.
So point number one is BLDC. A BLDC motor is a brushless DC motor. So it is nothing. It's if I dumb it down, very very simply put, it is an AC induction motor that is designed to run on DC. That's all.
Yeah. So here possibly it is also important to say that a normal DC motor we'll have a commutator, which is basically connecting the.
Correct. We'll have a common
connection is
brushes.
not there.
Correct.
Okay.
Go on, sir, go on.
Now, in the case of brushless DC motor, which is a motor without any brushes, that is why it is brushless DC motor, BLDC.
Correct.
Now, embedded software. Can you please explain what that is?
I'm sure everybody's used a calculator, right? A normal Casio calculator. The software on the calculator is an embedded. So any embedded device that runs on very minimal. So the difference between, so we have a computer. I'm using a laptop, right? This has a processor. And anything that runs on a microcontroller is called an embedded device because it has very minimal resources when compared to general purpose processors like computer. And any software written on that to make that function is called an embedded.
Yeah, so thank you very much. At this stage, I want to say, I will post it in the SIT group also. I already asked one of my connections on the BLDC motors. Have you heard of the company called as Lockim Motors? Lockim,
Correct.
LAWKIM.
Yes.
It's a Godrej and Boyce company. They're in, I think, Shirwal near Pune. And they make BLDC and they export BLDC, a lot of them.
That's nice.
I've asked him whether he does any robotics BLDC, and then I'll connect you to him. Okay.
That will be fantastic. Yeah.
Now in the BLDC motors, the key technology or key challenge is the embedded software, which basically gives you a very, very high accuracy, positional accuracy of the motor. And the
correct.
So that is the core, in my opinion. And if what Narendra Sharma says that the software is expensive, it could be because of those algorithms which basically define how you are going to excite the coils for you to either accelerate or decelerate and come to that specific angle. And that accuracy is a key thing. I don't know. This is again going a little technical. We could do it offline, but that is something which we can speak offline. I don't want you to continue. Sure. It becomes a little technical in that space.
Sure.
Which I want to ask you is, see, if you look at it, a robo basically or a bot is something which is doing some repetitive activity consistently. Okay.
Correct.
Now, there are a lot of activities which are being done consistently in India, especially when you look at all the BPOs, KPOs, and any of these things. The foreign countries, since they don't have labor who is interested in doing such menial jobs. When I say menial jobs, it could be just picking up the phone and answering continuously. They don't get manpower there, so they outsource it to India. Now, those things, is it not possible to make it as a robo in India?
So I'm sure you've already encountered in many of these banking apps and Swiggy and Zomato that you have a chat. And those chats are almost all the time, almost 50% of the times automated with a chatbot. So most of these chats are run by a predetermined algorithm that will just give you some choices and you choose and it decides where to take it. And after navigating frustratingly for 20-25 minutes after not getting your order, you'll be allowed to take a call with an operator. And yes, that's how the system already exists. Right. When it comes to tech support and BPO, there are a lot of startups that are trying to automate that. There are also big operations that are piloted with some US tech support people. Recently, TCS bought a big AI company that is trying to automate tech support as well. So yes, there is a lot of work going on in those areas. So I think pretty soon it will be clear.
And in the space of the Chat GPT, is that a robo? How do you define a Chat GPT?
It is just an intelligence that gives you a predetermined set of answers to some questions that you ask. It can be called a bot, but it's not technically a bot. It is just an intelligence.
Because it is not doing repetitive work. That's why it's not a bot.
It is repetitive, so it's something like chaos theory, right? The pattern repeats over a larger time interval. So the same question may be asked, but the time interval differs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'll ask a question on behalf of our participants. Okay. Some of them whom I know what they're doing. Now, first is in terms of civil design or design of buildings. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I have seen that there are a lot of such bots for optimizing the usage of steel and concrete. Have you come across that? Because in
yes,
which is an iterative activity, and
yes,
an iterative job is done through a bot.
yes. But personally, so we actually work with one construction company called Pace Robotics. They're a friend of mine. They build robots and intelligent autonomous software for the civil construction industry. And yes, there are many AI tools that are being designed to optimize this process. But I don't think anytime in the next 5 decades, like optimistically, next 5 decades, they're going to eliminate human intervention completely. That's almost never going to happen for the next 5 decades because you need a human overseer. As I said, the algorithm is reactive; it is not responsive. We have not gotten to an intelligence that is responsive, that can intuitively think of something and say, "Hey, you know what? We can do this." That's still not come out. We are just reiterating probabilities of patterns that we have created online. And all of this, mind you, is coming from data that you and I have created online. There's so much that we have not created online, right? And
Correct.
that's where the devil is.
Correct. And your product, you said you use it for cleaning the solar panels.
Yes.
Correct. Can it also be deployed for cleaning the glass panes in these buildings with glass walls?
So right now we are working with Saint Gobain on a similar, on the same problem statement. Well, the challenge is that 90 degrees is a completely different devil. It's a completely different beast altogether. It's against gravity, right? So technically it is possible, but it needs a lot of R&D, and we are partnering with Saint Gobain to do something similar to it.
And what about using drones for painting the walls, for example?
It's been experimented a lot. Drones in agriculture, drones in construction, but I don't know. I am a naysayer of drones. Some drone companies really hate me for this, but I'll give you a very simple logic of how drones are not so feasible, right? These popular drones that you see online, right? These videos, even in my video, there is a drone. So consider an average sized drone that cleans or paints. To charge that drone, you will need about 4 to 5 hours, and the flight time of the drone will be 45 minutes to 1 hour. So the amount of energy or the amount of carbon footprint or the cost of operation would be much higher than what cost we are saving or delivering right. So commercially, the return on investment is not. We are not able to come up to that level. But I think with advancement of battery technology, we'll get there sometime pretty soon. Probably the next couple of decades.
Okay, Sagar, go ahead, please.
See, when you mentioned about 90 degrees, about the Saint Gobain challenge or the glass cleaning, facade cleaning challenge, a thought is, would not biomimicking along with robotics be a good solution over here?
Oh, very nice idea, sir. So I don't know if you remember my video. I showed you Asimo trying to climb the steps and fall off. So the ones that are doing biomimicking robots, the leaders of biomimicking robots today are Boston Dynamics, and they're still not able to successfully build a perfectly balanced humanoid. They're still not come to that stage. So it's as a robotics engineer, it's such a it's wonder. You get into wonderment how nature made humans walk on two legs. It's just amazing how we do it on two legs. So yes, that may be a solution, but not anytime. Very far-fetched commercial.
Yeah. So the next question which I had was, see, whenever you're trying to automate or create a robot, there is a lot of hype of so many people, you got Industry 4.0, which is an automation. Everywhere, a lot of people keep talking a lot of things. Is there any easy way to let us say I have a requirement. I upload the requirement to some kind of a bot, and the bot tells me whether it is worthwhile for me to invest at all or not. Because the fundamental premise for any automation is stability and repeatability. If the stability and repeatability are not given, and if somebody cannot, what should I say, predict and compute the outcome, then no robotic will work, no automation will work, because that's where the human mind is required to improvise. Every time you repeat the same thing, it will be a different context. So you have to keep on thinking, and that power today is not there in the market at all. In the case of a robot, what is your thought on that? Is there something available like that? Can we look at developing something like that for the benefit of?
Yeah. On a funny note, you're stealing my bread and butter.
Not really. I am trying to say.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. In the sense that that is where, as a robotic consultant, my prowess lies in saying that, hey, you know what, you're going to get so much ROI if you invest so much. And on a serious note, the point is that every use case for a robot is very, very varying. Right? So given a use case, it takes time. It is possible to develop, but it takes time. Like they've done it in auto manufacturing, and especially in robotic arms and stuff like that. They've really gotten these solid numbers after years of iteration. And they know if you invest, if you want to automate this plant and invest so much, so if you want to invest in a bottling plant, they will tell you for sure, this is the volume output. We can definitely tell you, this is your throughput volume output per day. And this is what your earning per year will be. And this is when you're going to get your return on investment. That computation exists for already tested use cases. But for certain use cases which are very niche, like you said, cleaning of glass pane or cleaning of a solar panel, those iterations or those models are still yet to evolve. And I think it will take some time to get to that stage. But bringing in a generic AI to compute this would be a great startup idea.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a fantastic startup.
Okay. And tell me, what about the robotics in the biomedical sciences or in the biokinetics or whatever you call it as?
Oh, yes. So actually, where robotics has taken a big leap or huge leap is one in terms of manufacturing automation. Two, it is in space and defense technology, and the third is biomedical sciences. There's so much research and money that the big guns have put into robotics in biomedical sciences. There's so many robotic surgeries that have come in, and most of the BLDC motor companies that manufacture motor in India are actually for biomedical industries. They make these small, fine, very precise motors, and they build controllers around that. And most of the market for Indian robotic or Indian motor manufacturing, Indian robotic manufacturing companies right now are biomedical companies. And yes, the scope is big.
Mm-hmm. And are there any companies making artificial limbs and things of that kind in India?
Oh, there are tons of companies. Every year I meet at least 5 or 6 startups that are coming up making prosthetics, intelligent prosthetics driven by AI, cloud-connected prosthetics, and making remarkable work. They are curing pseudolimb syndromes. I don't know if you're aware of pseudolimb syndrome. So if somebody has lost a hand through an accident, let us say if the person had the hand clenched, his muscles will still be clenched, and he has lost a wrist at that point of time when it was clenched. He's going to suffer with that clenched sensation for the rest of his life. So he'll feel in his forearm that his wrist is clenched. He'll never feel the release. So many people have used prosthetics to cure something like this. Even if the people are not able to afford a full wrist, at least they get reliefs like curing of pseudolimb syndromes and impacts of PTSD and stuff like that. And with AI, they are developing so many neural algorithms that tackle with PTSD and psychological counseling, whatnot, medical industry.
Like in manufacturing, you have what is called a sample shop or a proto shop. Are there any kind of, I think, pros some time. Am I the only one here, or all the others are frozen? Sagar, are you there?
Yeah, we are very much here, sir.
So
Yes,
I am frozen. So I thought
Havish is
okay.
frozen.
Robots are
Havish is
frozen you.
frozen.
Robots are frozen you.
Havish, are you there?
Havish, no. He's frozen. He's
Okay. The battery of the robo is gone down.
Yeah, it's really quite interesting. See, we talked about startup. By the time he comes, I was just thinking, this area of robotics, I'm sure will interest all of us. In terms of creating a platform where people can do some experimentation. Do you think such an idea would make sense for SIT team to promote? See, because if you look at it today, there are a lot of engineers like Havish who would be good in embedded electronics, and there's the engineer like Narendra who will also good in embedded electronics, and the opportunity for them to just practice, just to try it out. I don't think there is any kind of a lab available. Is it? I don't know. Havish, you are back. My question was,
yeah, I am back.
Like in the case of manufacturing, you have an ecosystem to manufacture a sample. When you get a new idea,
correct,
you can always get the design done, and after that get the sample manufactured. Similar to that, is there any kind of a ecosystem in the robo world where I get an idea as to what can be automated? It could be a hand, limb, a toe, finger, whatever it is, biomedicals, or it could be something to do with. So is there some kind of an ecosystem where you can just go there, pitch in your idea, and after that they would try to experiment that, at least validate? Is something like that available?
Yeah. Yes, there is one. The best place to do this is at Hong Kong. There is a place called InnoCenter and Hong Kong STP. That is a one-stop solution to validate your idea. You can go with an empty idea, get your prototype built, hardware built, everything built in 2 weeks. In India, a new place called T-Works has cropped in Hyderabad. They're doing some phenomenal job. You can Google T-Works Telangana. It's a government-run operation. And Hyderabad has this facility. Narendra sir?
Yeah, please go on.
So let me just drop that in chat. I'll just
this is Hong Kong STP, right?
Hong Kong STP, InnoCenter run by Hong Kong STP.
Yeah. And then the other one is
T-Works.
Telangana.du. This prototyping center, it's mainly for what? For any product or only electronics and robots?
They have done it for both. You can build an entire product. The ID, the industry design, software design, the electrical design, and the mechanical design. All 4 can be done in one place, and you can prototype it, you can test it, validate it, and then you can, if you think it is commercially viable, then you can go ahead with the next iterations.
Is something like that available in Bangalore, being the mother of startups?
No, Bangalore is full of SaaS startups. Startups is very tough in Bangalore. So Karnataka startup started K startup hubs, but it really didn't take off. So there are a certain couple of maker spaces. There you can't. They're mostly there. You can test out your mechanical design to an extent. That is, they have 3D printers and SLA printers. That's it. And Hubli, there is a place that you can try. It's called Deshpande Startup.
Deshpande
so in Karnataka, Deshpande. So Deshpande Foundation has a prototyping lab. They're also very good with electronics. In fact, we manufacture and assemble our electronics at Deshpande. Most of it, about 40-45%. We get them assembled. So the support is really good. I think that's the place to go in Karnataka. Nothing in Bangalore. Nothing serious in Bangalore.
Okay, understood. Yeah. Now with that, I think we are at the end of the discussion. Sagar, you wanted something? Please go on.
Yeah, I have one. See, Havish, I couldn't focus on the initial part where what company you are in, but however, let me post my question. Look, there is one student here, Preetham. Okay, he has joined. He is there in the group. Now, if student,
Okay.
and he is a student of computer science, in case such students are interested in robots and robotics, etc. How is the university and the industry? I mean, let us take your case. How is that interaction? Can the students come to you? See, now we've got so many people trying to teach robotics to high school students, etc. I've seen that a lot of hype and only a gimmick. The actual problem is not solved. But when students want to really learn robotics for problem solving of life or industrial, how can they get in touch with you?
They can definitely ping me on LinkedIn, or I'll just drop my phone number right away in the chat, and anybody can talk to me at any point of time. But answer. But on the university note, actually, there were a couple of universities like Jain and TS that were running robotics as a course, but there were no takers thanks to data science and machine learning hype that was created in the industry. So they closed down these branches. So nothing serious in robotics. That is. Besides, robotics is more like a niche, more like a specialization. So I think anybody who studies computer science or electronics or mechanical engineering, I think people should study mechanical engineering. Coming from an electronics and communication background, I'm an embedded engineer. After we started the company, we spent the first 4 years learning mechanical engineering hands-on by burning our hands. So one of the core branches you guys can study, and then they can specialize in robotics. But nothing serious as a master's of robotics or a course in robotics that will really help them get into the industry. So that is one of our missions to take forward as a company. That's our next 10-year plan, that we try to bridge the gap between the industry and the university. That's our long-term vision as well, to bridge that gap and help students study robotics and get into the robotics too. Serious.
Thank you so much, Havish. It was wonderful, exciting. For me, it was really very invigorating.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very interesting discussion. For others, maybe something would have sounded Greek and Latin. So please pardon me for that, for organizing such a technical topic today. However, it was really of importance that people understand the hype around robotics. It is nothing so great. It's about simple automation. And that is something which is the key message that we are going to take. And also to say that there is a huge potential in India, but cost is the issue. So that we should see how to reduce the cost by going in for local solutions, similar to what the ISRO guys did. Maybe we should also do in the robotics. Thank you so much. And before we end, and I hand over to Amar for the final comments, can we just have a group photo? So all of you can please switch on your cameras. I just take the snap and then post it in our WhatsApp group. Okay, super. Thank you so much. And over to you, Amarji, for your final comments.
Oh my God. Good evening, sir. What a wonderful session it has been today. Robotics has been always an interesting subject over my travel throughout the globe. A fascination that has taken a big leap in towards development for mankind, helping more precision work to be done more efficiently. And I think so, technology-wise, the trend is building up every day. As rightly said by one of our colleagues in the panel, that awareness is a must today to bring down the cost and utility of the robotics in various fields. I myself have undergone robotic surgery for my heart, so I know how precise it has been after so much of thought process that I underwent before I could take it up. I think so. It has efficiency and it's delivering the desired result. I think so. The cost also matters much, as I know very much it's used in different fields today. I think so. Very beautiful insight given by Havish. I think we should have one more session with him, an interesting session to learn more about how robotics really encourages our life. Right from education today, we are not spoken about education. Education also has, right from the nursery, I think so today, I've seen robotic toys, robotic use of robotics in every field today. I think so it will be the next generation field where children should learn, as rightly said. I mean, we should all focus on encouraging children to learn this field very efficiently. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Avishji, for your wonderful thought, sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the
Thank you so
opportunity,
much.
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I will now stop the recording. Thank you so much.